Hi, it's Danielle. This is my perfume journal where I document my love of perfume. So, we perfume enthusiasts are well known for smelling and smelling and smelling and smelling as much as we can. For me, it's because I love the discovery, the exploration, the joy of learning as much as I can about fragrances. And even though they are intertwined, my perfume enthusiasm and my perfume collecting are kind of two different things. I collect what I love and what I want to wear all the time as kind of a form of self expression. And I smell things for fun and education and as a creative outlet and a way of managing stress. And I just think that hobbies are so, so good for that. And of all the samples I bring in, some of them are home runs, some of them aren't. And I can rarely bring myself to actually throw a sample away. It just feels kind of wasteful, even the like really, really vile ones. So, what do I do with the samples after I've tested them? I kind of have a pretty simple system. It's either wear it or share it. If a sample is good, but maybe not bottle or decant worthy, these are the ones that I'm going to throw in my purse or maybe take with me on a trip. I also like to use these samples when like my scent of the day wears off and I want like a little perfume pick me up. And if I'm not going to wear a sample, I'll share it. Sometimes I will make a little sample bundle to sell on Mercari. Sometimes I just pass them on to friends and family. Like I love to see people's reactions to a perfume that they've never smelled before, especially if it's something I didn't really love and I see that they do. I just think that's so much fun. And I don't just pass on the things I don't like, I also pass on the good stuff. Good in quotation marks, because good is subjective, of course, when it comes to fragrance. But I can't possibly wear all the samples that I have, so I do share the good ones too. So for this month's samples video, as I go through each of the samples that I've been sniffing, I'll let you know if it's going to be a wear it or a share it kind of a perfume. As you know, I'm not adding any new bottles to my collection right now, just travels and decants. So I'll also let you know if I plan to pick up one of these perfumes in a travel size or maybe a little decant. I guess you could say I'm in my FDW phase, my full decant worthy phase right now. So I have 10 perfumes to tell you about today, so let's just get to it. Okay, first up is Alien Eau Sublime. I was bopping around on FragranceNet last month, as one does, looking for samples of perfumes I haven't tried before. And I think I've mentioned this before, but it's worth repeating. Sometimes you can find samples of discontinued perfumes on discount sites, and sometimes they're in their original formulations. And if you buy up 10 samples, you have yourself a nice travel size that'll last a little while. So that's one of the things I will do if I find a perfume that I really like, but it doesn't come in a decant and I don't really want a full bottle. I'll buy like 10 samples and then that's like the equivalent of a travel size of a perfume. Okay, so I also love to smell as many flankers as I can of a perfume. I like to see like, does it smell similar to the original or is it a complete departure? So in this case with Alien Eau Sublime, there is no mistaking whatsoever that this is an alien perfume. In fact, I kind of had a hard time distinguishing this from the original Alien because it does have that sort of like camphorous, nose tickling jasmine. It's so pronounced. And when that jasmine is present, it's kind of hard to suss out anything else from the composition. So on paper, I would call this the citrusy, summery alien. Not in the same way that Alien Goddess presents itself. Alien Goddess has that like golden sun-kissed glow. This is a fresher take on a summery alien. There's orange and heliotrope and tiare. There's galbanum in this, white amber, and then also that familiar jasmine and cashmeran. I liked this, but I don't really get the flankeriness of this flanker. It just really smells like alien to me. So this one is a share. Okay, let's go to two perfumes that my perfume twin Jill shared with me. I swear we share a nose because every single perfume she has ever shared with me or recommended to me has ended up being a big, big love. So first up is Hattai from Le Couvent. I've talked about Le Couvent before, Aqua Amantia in particular from this brand. This is another perfume that Jill introduced me to. It's created by the wonderful Jean-Claude Ellena, And that one is a very crisp grapefruit and rhubarb scent with a little smooch of ambrette. But in Hattai, Jean-Claude has given us something totally different. This is a spicy, warm, woody scent with pink pepper, cocoa, cinnamon, and juniper. And the juniper is a really interesting choice here. With the pepper, it just makes this more than your average warm, spicy, sweet gourmand. It takes that composition, that scent profile to the forest, like to the actual woods, and you almost get this combination of warm and cool temperatures in this perfume, which I think makes it extra spectacular. I cannot wait to wear this one in the fall and in the winter when I go outside for my evening walks. I think this is going to be absolutely outstanding for that exact specific activity. So this one very clearly is a wear. Next is a perfume that when I smelled it, I had that very feeling that I talked about in a recent video, the feeling that something just clicked with me. Everything about this perfume felt right. And it is Un Bel Amour d'été from Parfum d'Empire. The more I try from this brand, the more I am in love with it. So there are a few brands out there that I would say if you love vintage perfumes, like really love old school perfumery from say 40 years ago or more, but you're a little trepidatious about chasing vintage because it is a risky game to play. I can attest to that. I have kissed my fair share of vintage frogs, but I will say there are brands out there creating what I would call neo-vintage or modern vintage compositions that bring the vintage feel to life for today's perfume enthusiast who is a little scared about chasing after vintage perfumes. And Parfum d'Empire is one of those brands. So is Eris Parfums. So is 1907. Then you have revival brands like Grossmith. And as I'm talking about this, I'm thinking I should make a video dedicated to brands that would satisfy the vintage lovers. What would we call it? Like, what's a sweet tooth for a vintage lover? I don't know, maybe like an old nostril? Anyway, this perfume, Un Bel Amour d'été. Oh my God, it's so fabulous. It is a big, huge golden floral, and I mean big, ylang ylang mostly. And then there's Champaca, Gardenia, Magnolia. It shimmers and shines, and it just fills the room with this beautiful golden floral aura. It's sweetened up a bit with a little vanilla. It has a creamy sandalwood that reminds me so much in the sandalwood that's in some of my favorite 80s perfumes like Isatis and Nikki de Saint Phalle. And then there's just this teeny tiny hint of skank. And it's not animalic skank. It's like floral filth. That kind of floral that's indolic in nature rather than like animalistically musky. So to me, this perfume is as good as it gets. And I get like, I get so excited when I smell something like this because in a sea of tarry aroma chemicals and these like nose blinding woody ambers, compositions like this one, they just stand out to me and they get me right in the feels. This one is a wear and probably will turn into a decant. Okay, let's do a couple gourmands. I have been really curious about Delizia de Marshmallow from Kyse. This perfume has been a staple in the perfume community for ages and ages, like 7 years now, because it came out in 2019. It is a cult favorite, should I even say a cult classic at this point? So when I smelled it, I was like, yeah, I get it. I get why this is beloved. The opening of this perfume smells exactly, and I mean exactly, like you have shoved your face into a bag of jet puff marshmallows. The little hot cocoa ones, the big fat s'mores one, doesn't matter. It is that exact smell. The powdery coating and that sort of like synthetic sugary blast. It is unmistakably realistic and perfectly constructed. But here's the thing. I didn't like the dry down of this perfume at all. That absolutely fabulous bag of marshmallows opening is so fleeting. It's like you just want to run after it and yell, come back, but it doesn't listen. It dries down for me in a way that vanilla perfumes like this can sometimes dry down, and it smells kind of mildewy, moldy to my nose. And I don't know what that is or why that happens to me, but it's like the particular material that's used in perfumes like this, it must be some kind of vanillin. It goes completely off on my skin. And that is such a bummer because that opening is so good. It's like a feat of perfumery to create something so specifically realistic and wonderful as a bag of marshmallows. I just wish that part of the perfume lasted forever. So this one is a share. Then I sampled one of the Michela Mezzetti perfumes that I got in the Discovery set with my purchase of Breathe Me back in May. And this one is Pop Me. And of all the perfumes in the set, I waited the longest to sample this one because I don't love popcorn perfumes. I don't like that popcorn perfume from the egg brand, House of Oud, and I don't like the Cirque du Soleil perfume. I love the smell of freshly popped buttery popcorn, but I don't want to smell like freshly popped buttery popcorn. Or so I thought. So just like Michela Mezzetti turned the corner for me on cherry scents, I think she has successfully brought me around to a popcorn perfume. So this one wore like the opposite of Delizia de Marshmallow for me. The opening, no ma'am. No ma'am. It was butter, popcorn, big nose full of it. But then as the perfume settled down, it did that thing that I think is Michela Mezzetti's signature. It had this airiness that emerged from the bottom of the bag of the buttered popcorn. There's a cotton candy note listed here, and the airiness in this perfume feels like those tendrils of spun sugar that have been wrapped all around the popcorn. So you get the essence of the popcorn underneath, that like nutter, buttery kind of scent, but it's protected by this shield of airy, airy sweetness. I really, really liked this one. This is a wear. Okay, let's talk about some florals. So first is a perfume that I wanted to try for a really long time. And when I placed my order at Lucky Scent for the last sniff along, I just threw this one in the cart. So this is Kyse. And this perfume kind of surfaced, I don't know, must be like maybe a decade ago as a viral perfume oil. I just remember a lot of hype around the perfume oil. And I just never got around to testing it until now. So Kyse is a gardenia perfume. It is gardenia through and through. And with all of the beautiful gardenia perfumes available to us, Elizabeth Taylor's Gardenia, Florence from Tocca, Chanel's Gardenia, Gucci's Flora Gorgeous Gardenia, Miller Harris's Secret Gardenia, Pacifica's super affordable and fabulous Tahitian Gardenia. I just thought this perfume, Kyse, fell kind of short of all of those perfumes for me. I like my gardenia on the creamier side rather than the more aquatic side. And Kyse leans more watery, fresh, and aquatic, like a gardenia floating on the surface of like a fresh pool of oasis water. Is it lovely as far as a gardenia scent goes? Absolutely, yes, it is. But for me, there are others that I would rather have that cost a lot less than $84 for 50 mils. So this one is going to be a share. So next is Vanilla Planifolia from Chloe, shared with me by the lovely and wonderful Monica, who, by the way, she has started making perfume content on YouTube in English as well as Spanish. So now you can enjoy Monica's content in not one, but two languages. And I will link both of her channels down below. So Vanilla Planifolia is a lovely green vanilla. So in this perfume, Quentin Biche has taken the idea of the vanilla orchid, the plant that is the source of the vanilla bean pod, and he has created a scent that is light, diffusive, salty fresh, and sweet green. It's sort of similar to the scent of clover to my nose. It's not a gourmand vanilla. It's not like vanilla pods with beans to be scraped from inside. This is like the vanilla pod new on the stem, budding as close as it can possibly be to the petals of the flower. And I really, really like this. If you are a green vanilla lover, like if you love Eau Duelle from Diptyque, Vanilla Planifolia from Chloe is one to check out. This one is going to be a wear. Okay, then Monica also shared with me a sample of a perfume that I really, really, really wanted to try. And it's another Chloe. It's one of their new releases from the Atelier des Fleurs line. And it's another biche. It's Sable Lavande. Now, this perfume is my kind of thing. I have to say, though, my first sniff of this on the blotter was a little bit of a letdown. And I think it's because I hyped this one up so much in my own mind. I don't even know what I was expecting, but I decided to go ahead and give it a full wear. And that is when the magic of this perfume just unfolded for me. This is just fig and lavender, and that's it. Like, imagine Diptyque's Philosophus just absolutely freaking frolicking in a lavender field in the sun. It has that creamy, soft figginess that pairs so, so well with the slightly soapy but never goes sharp kind of lavender. It's that like yin and yang kind of thing. This perfume lasted all day, but in the nicest way. It wasn't like booming off of my skin like you might imagine a Quentin Biche perfume would do. It was just like the best kind of sillage, sort of creating a soft, enveloping, wispy cloud rather than one of those like pig pen perfume dust clouds following you around all day. So this one is most definitely a wear. Okay, so I have two more perfumes to talk about today, and both of them have been around for a little bit, but I'm just getting to them now. So I picked up a little sample of Poems 1 through 12 from Universal Flowering. So I chose this because I loved Lilac Number 4 by this brand. It is a fantastic lilac and petrichor scent. It is so interesting, and it literally smells like standing on the sidewalk next to a giant lilac bush after the rain. It is phenomenal. So Poems 1 through 12 caught my eye because of the combination of ginger and opopanax, which is also known as myrrh. And I thought, oh, I bet that combination is absolutely beautiful. I love myrrh in general, and so I was really curious about this one. So the myrrh and the ginger combination is really unique and really beautiful in this. Unfortunately, there is a condensed milk note in this perfume that just was not for me. Like every time I try a lactonic scent, I think I'm going to love it, but then this thing happens to me that makes lactonic perfumes go like baby spit up on me. This one didn't go all the way there, but it did have that something about it that just made me feel a little bit queasy, which is such a shame because there is no denying that this is a great perfume. It's an interesting concept. I love the brand, but we cannot love them all. And at the end of the day, this one just came down to personal preference with the lactonic part, with the lactonic aspect of this perfume that didn't work for me. But if it was just the ginger and the opopanax, like sign me up, I would be buying a bottle like yesterday. But I would say if you do love lactonic scents and you're looking for something just a little bit different, this would be a good one to sample because the myrrh and ginger combination is so great. And with the creamy lactonic element, you might really love that. As for me though, this one is going to be a share. And then finally, again, thanks to Monica, I was able to try 724, 724, 724 from MFK. This one was right up my street. Super duper clean, fresh laundry scent, tons of aldehydes, white musk. But I think what set this perfume apart from other perfumes in the similar category that I've smelled before are the white floral accords. They really stood out, specifically because of the way the white florals are constructed here. They feel almost lemony, but not like photorealistic lemony, more like a really beautiful lemon soap. This is just one of those really nice crisp white shirt kind of scents. Really enjoyed this. This one is a wear. Okay, so there's a handful of perfumes that I've been sniffing and writing about in my journal lately as I continue to enjoy exploring the wide, wide world of scents and adding zero bottles to my collection for a little while. So I'm curious if you've tried any of these, and I'd love to know what your thoughts are on them. I'd also like to know what you've been sampling lately. I get such great recommendations from you that I can write in my journal. So thanks for watching. Thank you for spending your time here with me. Thanks for chatting perfumes with me in the comments. Thank you if you have subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate your support. And if you haven't and would like to, that would be so cool. I hope you have a really great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.